Angela Knight, let's turn to you, former Treasury Minister. Great to have you back on the show. Now, your CEO, your former CEO of UK, of Energy UK, represent the UK energy industry. You're very expert in this area. Let's just spell it out for our GBNews viewers and listeners. When we talk about the energy industry, we have the downstream energy industry, the people that actually, drill the oil and the gas and so on and create and generate the energy. And then we have the customer-facing, the business-facing energy retailers. They're the ones that are really squeezed because they buy the energy wholesale and then they sell it retail, often subject to a price cap if they're selling to households. Let's talk a little bit about the downstream energy at the moment, the oil and gas producers. A lot of people say they're making huge money. Their extraction costs haven't gone up very much, but prices have gone up. So the windfall tax that Rishi Sunak unveiled should now go even higher. Should that, Angela Knight, be part of the government's emergency package response to pay for measures that help households?
Well, a couple of things, Liam. First of all, it's upstream of the oil and gas extraction, and downstream is where we have the suppliers. But you're absolutely right that you've got to separate out between the two. Now, currently, the proposal, it's not a proposal, the decision on windfall taxes for the oil and gas extracting industry, on that part of it which comes out of the North Sea and so we can get a grip on, the tax there is set at 65%. Now, that's pretty eye-watering, and especially when we also want them to do more, that is, to invest more in the UK, particularly in low-carbon energy, in wind farms and in nuclear. So it's not quite as black and white as you present it. But I wondered if it's possible, if I could just turn to what it is that the government could do, both for business and for domestic. And as I'm currently in Europe, I've got a better idea now on what is happening in some European countries compared with ourselves. And there are always some bits and pieces that we can pick up from other people's ideas and import them into our own.
So tell us what you think the government should do, Angela. You've been, you've worked at the top of government. Liz Truss's team, for surely be her. Surely they're working round the clock. So when she does become Prime Minister, probably on September the 5th, they can actually unveil something to put some public concern at rest.
Correct. Because importantly, of course, you have got the big ministries, fully staffed, fully operational. In our instance, the two that are very important, I think, are the Treasury and our BEIS. Now, to my mind, what has happened so far with the candidates is they've picked off one or two bits. For example, as Rishi Sunak has said, more money to those lower end, and I think that's right, and also more money to help the pensioners pay for energy bills. That's right. But there does need to be a lot more done for industry as well. And I think that should be a combination of things. Some of the suppliers themselves, the retail suppliers, have put up a proposition for a big sort of loan proposition backed by banks and then underpinned by government, so-called soft loans, to be paid back over 10, 15 years. But that will help buffer retail across the next couple of years. Do that as well as the special assistance. For industry, well, industry pays VAT at 20%. That's high. And also, of course, on our energy bills, which is not the case in many European countries, are added both the green costs, but also the networks. The overhead cables, both the national grid and also the local distributor ones, are also added. The cost of the
suspend those charges for a while. Suspend those charges for a while, do you think, Angela?
I think something does need to be done along those lines. I think a suspension of additional charges coupled with reforming the electricity market so it's no longer pulled up to much too high a price by the cost of gas. Previously, that was put in place to help wind, but it's 10 years old. It's a formula. It needs to be scrapped and put in place for the modern day. And I think that there does have to be a shift onto general taxation of some of these costs and off both business and individuals. So that's why I say it is a strategy, a short, medium and long-term strategy, addressing the various aspects and elements that sit on the bill and not just snatching at one thing or another, and then we can have confidence.
Very